Welcome, everybody. It's time once again for another episode of The Skinny on Beauty, the only place where beauty and art collide. With your host, the host with the most. I don't know if she's got the most skinny or the most beauty here, but Cheryl Hawley here with her beautiful guest this afternoon here.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Skinny on Beauty, brought to you by Unite Socially. Today we're going to be talking about tricks to get subscribers to your YouTube channel. Yes, I got all of your DMs about YouTube and how to get some more traction, and so I brought on an expert today. Amanda Bucci is here with us.
Hi, everyone.
She came down from a mountain. She lives on a mountain. She's a guru. She seldom talks with us normal folks here. Tell us how many people you have on your YouTube channel. How many subscribers?
Well, number one, I personally don't enjoy being put on some mountainous pedestal for a number next to my name. I'm just a normal person like everybody else, but I'm good with the camera. I guess I have 188,000 subscribers.
Yes, so almost 200,000 subscribers. And so today we're going to be talking about a lot of your questions will be answered. I know also I put out a Facebook post and some of you had some questions about YouTube art and what is the best place for videos if it's on YouTube or Instagram. We're going to be talking about how to gain more traction to your YouTube channel as well. So all those questions will be answered today. I'm your host, Cheryl Hawley, digital marketing expert for beauty, fashion, and health brands, consultant, social media influencer, and educator. You can follow my company, Unite Socially, for more information on how to grow your brand on the digital space. Or you can follow Skinny on Beauty on social media to connect with more entrepreneurs in your target market. Today with Amanda Bucci and I, we're going to be, again, talking about your subscriber list, and then also my favorite part, since I talk about social media all the time, my favorite part is going to be talking about macros and some of the fat burning, how to get into your fat burning zone and some of the fitness tips that she has for us. Amanda Bucci is a 24-year-old CEO of an online education company for aspiring fitness influencers, coaches, and entrepreneurs. The host of her own podcast, Bucci Radio. Her mission is to ignite the fire of others to generate growth with their fitness life, business life, and personal life. I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for driving down from LA.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I actually didn't have to drive because I got a flat tire, so I took a lift instead. It was relaxing.
Right? Which is the best
Very
part.
LA.
Yeah, not having to drive in LA and Orange County traffic is definitely key.
It wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
I gotta fix my flat tire, but
yeah. So just to tell you guys a little bit about how Amanda and I got connected, I put out a post earlier on Facebook. It was a public post, and actually she's one of my friends, Stephanie Telford. She's a shout out to Stephanie for connecting us. She's she's a blogger and editor at Home in High Heels, and I put out a post that, hey guys, let me know your favorite motivational speaker, and
Aww.
she had responded with you.
That's really nice. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it is. And I know that you're in this transition of, going into more personal development. And so I thought it was really cool that she had responded with you as well. And that's definitely the type of guests that I look for on the show, are guests that, if they're in transition or whatever goal that they're setting for themselves, they're actually meeting it, Right. And so kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
So your background is very impressive. I actually really enjoyed, looking over your content at Amanda Bucci, BUCCI.com, on everything that you have to offer. Lots of fitness freebies on there, you guys. Everything from like finding other online coaches like yourself, and just, tips and tools, to content creation, which we'll be talking about here later in the show.
Somebody tweeted once to know if she's the next Jillian Michaels. Is that what it is?
Jillian Michaels.
I think we definitely do some different stuff, but I totally admire Jillian Michaels. She's awesome.
Yeah. She definitely could be. I mean, she's as popular, I think. So
she's a television celebrity.
She is.
Maybe one day. But
Yeah.
I'm just like a little corner on YouTube. But
yeah, there you go. But you know what? Like, keeping it humble is really where it's at, because I know a lot of people do follow your content and appreciate the hard work that you put out there. So, your background, you've competed in NPC bikini. You're also into powerlifting and sponsored athlete with bodybuilding.com and Bite Meals and many more. So tell us what it's like to be a sponsor for, all these major brands and how you got into that.
Yeah, no, it's really, really cool. I'm really blessed to have the sponsorships that I do. When I first got started on Instagram, like that's where I got my start. It wasn't on YouTube, it was on Instagram more. I honestly am just one of those people that likes to share stuff. And when I started my fitness journey, I felt this major sense of community on Instagram because there was people in my immediate network of friends and family that did work out, but they didn't fall in love with fitness as hardly or as drastically as I did at the time. And it's really hard to start connecting with people when you're so in love with something so drastically. And my body was changing and my mind was changing and I was learning so much stuff and I was immersing myself into the education side of it that it's hard to feel like you're a part of something when not everybody that you already know is like in it with you. So on Instagram, I found this like major, amazing community of people that were also like starting their fitness journeys and doing competitions and learning the same things that I was. And I was like, this is amazing. So I just started sharing a ton on there. So I grew on Instagram first before I even started YouTube or knew what it was. And I got my first sponsorship on there by the company I've been with for what year is it right now? It's probably 2 years now, 2.5 or so. PE Science, a supplement company I'm sponsored by. They're super awesome people. I got into it because I saw a couple of my other friends who were like on the up and coming on Instagram at the same time as me get sponsored by them, and I was like, I love their stuff, I love their products, I appreciate who they have on their team, and that's a big thing for me, like what people are promoting their stuff, the way that they promote it, the way that they support the athletes or affiliates or ambassadors or whatever. Super appreciate the way they did everything and continue to do that. So it's been really cool working with them over the last few years, along with the other companies that I've gotten involved in. And it's awesome. It's like people don't really, they think kind of that's the first thing that they should focus on because that's something that like seems tangible now because companies are realizing influencer marketing is huge. People who are on YouTube have a really strong influence on getting people to buy stuff because when you're putting your life out there so much, you become a friend to people that you don't even know. And then whenever I meet somebody that is a follower of mine on my YouTube channel, my podcast, or Instagram, I feel like I've met a friend that I don't even know. So the influence for purchasers is like if you were to tell me, like Cheryl's my friend now, and if you were to say my favorite restaurant in OC is this, I would go there over any other restaurant. It's kind of the same kind of influence.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, but I think that you said something really key there, and it's about really understanding that brand, right? Because I talked to, we are both connected with a lot of influencers, and sometimes, with these brands, they just reach out to you and they're like, hey, will you promote our product? We'll give you free, free product for it. And maybe they'll even, compensate you for that, but some of these influencers that are just starting out, and their channel isn't growing as fast as maybe yours was, they're just signing up with different random brands, but they're not knowing the story behind the brand. And I think that's really important when you're branding yourself as a brand.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right? And so I love that you did that, and that's probably really contributed to a lot of your success. You know?
I would say like when you're in communication with a brand, it's really easy to just take the first thing that comes to you because you're like scarcity, like this would help me grow because the brand might be bigger than you. So it's like number one, beneficial to help you grow because they have their own network that they would push you into, which has helped me grow a ton. Like being a part of those companies absolutely contributed to my growth over the last 2 years on YouTube and on Instagram. And it's really enticing. And then they're going to offer you free things or money, which is also really enticing because you're like, yay, this is working. I'm an influencer now, it's working. But if you don't really think through to the long term and you don't know how being involved in that company is going to affect you in the long term, I'm guilty of not thinking of this when I first started, but now that I think back, I'm like, I'm really glad that I was able to have the opportunity to be with a brand that I like started loving and continue to love because that's really kind of it's hard to predict, but it's something that you should think about because you want to understand like everything you do and every decision you make and every person you partner with reflects back on you as a person.
It does. Yeah, it definitely does. And that's such a key element and really good tip for you guys. But I want to go back just a tad in your lifespan and talk a little bit about how you got started on this fitness lifestyle journey. Because I know in high school you played soccer and some lacrosse and you were really involved in that lifestyle already. But did you know back in high school like this was your calling?
No.
Okay.
I had no idea. I didn't know what the word entrepreneur meant. I had no idea I would be a business owner. My grandpa owns his own business, but my mom's a teacher. My dad's a lawyer. I wanted to go into nursing. I was in nursing school. I didn't know anything about building a business. Like,
Right.
I had never had any let me go to business school. It wasn't
Right.
even on my radar, to be honest.
Right. Okay. So, but it was definitely your calling, if you will. It was like meant to be. You can tell that you're very passionate about it. And your nursing background definitely shows in
yeah.
like the content that you provide and how you care about helping other entrepreneurs succeed. And the personal development part of things.
Right.
So everything aligns
Totally.
in this life. I mean, it really just works out. And so, after college, you hired a fitness coach, right? And then that's when you started doing your competitions. And you're still with him today. It's William
Grazione.
Grazione. Yeah. Okay,
I've been
perfect.
with him for 3 years now or so, 3.5, I think. And he's been amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. And so does he help you create any of your content, or is that something that you do all on your own?
So content stuff I do on my own, but to be completely honest, I can't just say anything is all on my own. Like everything that I've learned from him, from other people, from other mentors, from other YouTube channels and stuff was where I gained my knowledge. Like I didn't just take one fitness course. I'm not a certified personal trainer. I have my nursing degree, but everything that I've learned is from people who have had these experiences, like my coach. I would always ask him questions when I was learning, because I did do 2 competitions where I prepped myself and I was just kind of trialing and erroring type deal. And then I hired him, and he's so knowledgeable and he's so willing to give me and all of his clients help, advice, and if I ever had a question as to why, he would answer it for me, and I'd be like, great, this is helping me make content that's informative, or I can kind of just learn from a mentor versus a course or something, and that's what he did for me, and still continues to do, and we're actually business partners now. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so in your online education company?
Yeah, so I have 2. One of them is the Influencer Academy that I talked about, which is teaching people who want to become influencers or fitness coaches, people who want to kind of create an influence, build their message, and become an online fitness coach so they can have a sustainable, viable business and leverage social media. But then there's also a certificate program that we created this year. Him and I were business partners on it, where it's the fitness and nutrition chunk of information that you need to learn in order to become an online fitness coach. So instead of a personal trainer certification, which teaches you how to coach somebody in person, it's teaching you how to coach somebody online, which is new, it's a new career.
And so she has a lot of content, Amanda does, on her website, that freebies, not only content creation stuff, helping you with Instagram, and I'm sure you're going to come out with some other content creation stuff for YouTube.
Oh my God,
if you don't already.
All of this stuff. We're working on so much helpful stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And you even have, so this is the part that I love about the podcast, because macros, what the heck is a macro? I had no idea, and when I was doing my research, and I was like, oh, okay, the definition's here, but what are macros, and how do you track them, and how does that work with body goals?
Yeah, well, I first learned about macro tracking a couple years ago. Usually mainstream fitness will teach you that you have to kind of eat less food, or do some sort of keto, or do some sort of other fad diet to lose body fat. When I learned about macros are essentially just nutrition. So you have calories. All food has calories in it. So whatever, there's a sandwich that has 300 calories, but those calories are made up of macronutrients. So you have protein, carbs, and fat. Each sandwich, maybe a Starbucks sandwich. My favorite sandwich at Starbucks is the reduced fat turkey bacon sandwich. It's 260 or 80 calories, I forget. And there's 30 grams of carbs because of the English muffin, and there's 6 grams of fat and 15 grams of protein, something like that.
She's an entrepreneur.
So long.
She's an entrepreneur when she has a favorite sandwich at Starbucks. Because that's where we hang out, right?
Yeah. And then like choice minimalism. Like you don't make that many decisions. You just like know your thing that you like. Essentially, it's just what is in the food that you're eating, right? So,
okay.
Each person has an amount of calories that their body either maintains at, can lose body fat at, or gain body fat or gain muscle at. So whatever you eat normally that keeps you at the same weight that you just stay at is what your calorie maintenance is. Some people may have it lower, some people may have it higher, dependent on your history with dieting, your history with training, your history with eating, the kind of foods that you eat, all that stuff. And it may be higher for some people, maybe if you have like a genetically high metabolism, you've never dieted before, those kinds of things, like the way that you train, all of that stuff depends. So basically, whatever your maintenance calories are, you'll have a certain amount of macronutrients that are like optimal for your body. So you'll have a certain amount of protein that is optimal for muscle building, that stimulates muscle protein synthesis, which builds muscle basically, and then a certain amount of carbs and fat, which is essentially either preference or there's so many different diets that you can do any kind of diet and you're still doing macros because all food has macros in it. So you could be keto, which is high fat, moderate protein, low carb. That's macros. It's still macros, but it's just there's so many.
So how do you get it tested?
You don't. So you don't test what your macros are. You figure out what your calories are.
What your body can handle for like based on your body goals. So if I wanted to lose weight.
So what I would recommend for you if you're like trying to figure out what those are, I have it in my free ebook, but essentially what you do is you would track your calories for a week or two.
Okay.
No adjustments. You wouldn't like eat less food than you're normally eating just because you're tracking it. You would do your normal day and just you would kind of estimate your calories, weigh out your food. You can use macro tracking apps. I use an app called Evolve that I just started using. It's really easy to use. You can even like voice tap on the app. It's like Siri, where you can say, I ate 300 calories, 40 carbs, 30 fat, 30, which is really cool, really simple, really easy. And you would essentially see what your body did. Okay. So if your body stayed the same, that's your maintenance calories. And then what you would do from there is if you're trying to lose body fat, you would eat between 200 to 500 less calories per week, so there's a whole science behind it.
I got it though.
It's super individual, but that's the basic idea.
So like trial and error and testing and really like having the starting point and then testing from there, right? So and that's what going back to marketing, I mean, that is exactly what you have to do with marketing.
It's true.
You know, you have to test everything, and so if you really want the results that you're talking about, and there is a free ebook on this, it is a macro tracking ebook, right, on our website.
It tells you this whole like starting process basically.
So you can get started. You can even start with me, guys, because I'm definitely gonna get started. I love what you said about like you have this certain diet, and then if you're staying at the same place, then you need to adjust. And it's like I've just been staying at the same place, and so you're right. It's like test it. So I love it.
So you can get that at amandabucci.com/macros-free.
Awesome.
That's where that is.
And so, you guys, before we go on our break, we are going to go into the part, talking about YouTube and answering all of your questions on that. I just want, you to have an open mind with this, because with marketing, there's so many different ways to get the same results. And everybody has to start out at zero, with subscribers, right? So everyone has to start out on subscribers or followers or whatever social media channel you are on. You start at zero, and then you work your way up there and you test things along the way. And so today Amanda's just going to be sharing her experience, strength, and hope with us on, what strategies have worked for her. And when this show turns into a podcast and it's on the site, I invite you to come back and let us know what works for you, what didn't work for you.
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
Yeah, and any other questions that we might not answer on the show that you have, because both of us are here to help entrepreneurs and help you be successful. So, Paul, we're going to go on a break, and then when we get back, we'll be talking about how to gain more subscribers on your YouTube channel.
Woo.
Just want to point out that Cheryl Hawley is a digital marketer, a professor, and a social influencer. She's the host of the show, Skinny and Beauty, and the founder of Unite Socially, a United States media agency centered in the heart of Orange County, right here, where we're broadcasting from. Unite Socially specializes in social media and digital marketing and influencer management. Ooh, I don't know how you manage your influencers, but she does it somehow for the Beauty Wheelhouse. Launched in 2011, Unite Socially works with beauty, health, and fashion brands on an individual level to develop their digital strategies and unique online voice. With tremendous success on a franchise and individual level, Cheryl can help fine-tune your online message to speak directly to your target audience and increase brand awareness and equity. All of that and more. Check it out at The Skinny on Beauty. All right, back to the show here. Oh, we got one more to run here. Hang on.
Imagine what it would feel like to lose everything. Your job, your home, your family, your dignity. This has happened to thousands of the men, women, veterans, and young adults we serve at Working Wardrobes. What do we do to help? We provide career development services, life skills workshops, job skills training. We provide the perfect interview outfit, and we get clients placed in jobs. Call Working Wardrobes, 714-210-2460. Donate, volunteer, invest, hire.
All right, and I failed to say skinnyonbeauty.org there. I'm reading live copy. I'm going to get fired here from the show.
No,
here.
it's okay. It's actually unitesocially.org and skinnyonbeauty.com.
Oh, see, I got them backwards
Nailed it.
again.
Yeah.
Nailed it now. All right.
Woo,
And
you
what's-
always nail it, Paul. You're good. You're
And
good.
what is Amanda's again here? We might as well get them all out on the table here.
Yeah, Amanda Bucci. It's go ahead.
AmandaBucci.com.
Yeah, amandabucci.com, B-U-C-C-I.
B-U-C-C-I. Okay, amandabucci.com.
And check out her podcast, too. We're live, actually, on Unite Socially now. Hey, guys.
Can I just can I ask a question? And we have a couple other Twitter kind of questions, but we got to
Sure.
get you to talk to the mic. She's looking at me here, and she won't talk into the mic here. Pretend, ignore that man behind the screen here. Some people have asked, and a couple of I'm just summarizing here. How long did it take you to go from 0 to 180,000 followers? Was this just magic and it snowballed? Was this multi-years? Before you talk about how you did it, how long?
I can go through the how, but technically how long was I started my YouTube channel in summer of 2014, and it is now summer of I guess it's fall now of 2017.
Yeah.
So
Well,
three
just
years
Couple years.
Paul.
But was it just a steady growth, or was it? Did you just?
No, there was a boom at one point. We can
Okay.
talk about
All
that.
right. Well, that's why I want to hear about that, because everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I mean, you got to be. I don't know what percentage of YouTube channels reach that, but I know that as we were talking offline, I got a chance to go to the secret YouTube studio, U-Space, I think it's called, YouTube Space or something like
YouTube
that.
space.
yeah, we were talking about that in
And
break.
it's up in Playa del Rey. I think there's only 2 of them in the world. I think one's on the East Coast and one's here. I believe there's only 2 of them. Maybe there's more. And it's a free movie studio for anybody that has over 10,000 followers. Come in, play. We got the cameras, we got the stages, we got editors, we got everything, because they're trying to learn rather than try and tell the world how to build a YouTube channel, they're trying to learn from you guys that have already done it here. And you
Right.
said amazingly you live 5 minutes from there and you haven't been there.
I
Oh my
know,
God,
I'm
you should be
embarrassed
starting.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's planning to go in. She's got it on.
But it's
got
to be a small percentage of people that reach the numbers you're reaching. I can't believe is this something anybody? I guess that's my question.
I don't know
Can-
what the percentage
Can
is.
the orthopedic doctor's channel reach 180,000? Can the
If they have Unite Socially managing their
of course,
marketing,
of
yes,
course,
they
of
can.
And it depends on how much it's a priority for them, you know? It's got to be an in-depth strategy.
But
You
is
might
it?
need a
Are you
strategist.
thinking that it's just something for certain niches? We talked about, fitness is obviously a hot niche. Video games are a hot niche. Silly comedy's huge on there. Is it that, or would it fit for the knitting show or something, or would it fit for any hobby
It
or
would
any?
fit for anything.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
truly believe that.
I agree. I agree because everybody is on YouTube now. I mean, everybody is searching on YouTube. It's the number one search engine,
Right.
right?
Is
Yeah,
it
people
past
gotta-
Google now?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. People go to Google or YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Google or YouTube. Maybe I'm sure the analytics and the numbers differ daily, right?
I'm
But
sure, yeah.
so
Interesting.
it's definitely up there.
Well, I hope you'll
So-
jump into the house here, because that's
And
what
we
everybody's
will,
doing.
yeah.
I want to know too, because we have a YouTube channel. we have a pittance compared to that. You know, we've never been able to get even into the
And
thousands.
it's funny
here.
because I compare myself to those people who have millions and millions.
Yes,
you
all
know?
right. So we're all comparing each other
yeah,
here.
we're
Yeah.
all trying to get up there. So, guys on Unite Socially, welcome to our live feed right here on the Skinny on Beauty, where we bring in digital marketing experts like Amanda herself that have been very successful in the beauty wheelhouse. She is in fitness lifestyle and has helped or actually grown her channels herself through content creation and other avenues. As you heard us say earlier, she has 188,000 subscribers on YouTube, had her channel for about 3 years, and she uses her social media platforms to inspire and reach as many people as she can in hopes of igniting the passion in others that she has found for herself through fitness lifestyle. So you can do this a lot with YouTube, and I know that my fans and viewers and even some of yours that are watching right now are so excited to dive right into this and the marketing tips that we have for them today. So for somebody that might say somebody's just, Paul was kind of touching on it earlier, any type of industry, but say somebody is wanting to be a fitness coach like yourself, right? And they have no idea really what YouTube is or like how to get started. Like, what would be your tip for starting a YouTube channel?
Honestly, I would say for the first, if you've never opened your YouTube channel and this is your first, and you want to get your first like 1,000 subscribers or whatever.
Right.
Number one, I would say start with a strategy and start with like, what are your first 3 videos going to be? What are you going to title them? The thumbnails are important. The titles are super important.
Okay.
So first thing I tell my students to do is to make a transformation video story about yourself. Because if you're going to be a coach or if you're going to be a fitness expert, you have to show people how you've transformed yourself, and storytelling is so important, especially with YouTube, any kind of email marketing, any kind of storytelling that you can do. The biggest way you can connect to other people is through telling your story.
Right.
So making some sort of like, who are you? What are you all about? What can you expect from your channel? And here's how you transformed as your first video. And make it a big deal. Hype yourself up, share it out to as many people as possible, incentivize people to go post on it, maybe do some sort of like giveaway or something for your first video just to get traction on your first video so you feel that momentum going.
Right.
And then post the next video next week.
Right.
So you can get people to be like, okay, she's consistent.
Right.
Consistency is super huge. People want to see that you're going to be a consistent show up on their feed versus like, oh, I guess she posts videos every once in a while.
Right.
And they're kind of not really trusting in the fact that they're going to be able to commit to watching your videos all the time. The biggest thing to get that momentum rolling is people knowing that you're going to be posting often and people liking your stuff once you post it.
Right.
So if you kind of just post your first video and you're like, I didn't get any views or subscribers, but the whole point is for people to start seeing them, and then when you are shown on their feed often, they can start being like, all right, I've seen this person a couple times, like they're showing up, like they're there, their titles are good, I'm enticed. And the titles and the thumbnails are so important because that's your only marketing. When people are going through their feed and all they see, like hopefully you get on the feed, number one, which is a whole other topic in and of itself, is to get on the feed, which is like what's trending, what are people clicking on, like what's interesting, which is my other recommendation for your next second and third video, is to make something that's on trend with your industry. So what's interesting to people right now? What's really helpful? What's really valuable? How can you do it in a way that other people have done it, but in your own way that's, again, helpful and valuable in your own way? And how can you make yourself stand out in that topic?
Right.
So still being on trend in the topic, being completely and utterly yourself, because that's what's beautiful. And then being consistent and showing up in the right way.
Yeah, and so what I'm hearing a lot of is, the titles are very important, and being authentic to yourself, because people are going to know if you're fake.
Yeah. Well, you can just like do things that are the same as everybody else, and people will be like, oh, you're just trying to do what that person's doing because they're good at it.
Right. Yeah, so
there's a small line.
There is a small line.
Right.
There is a small line, but also being aware of what other people are doing, and that's where the on trend comes in, right? And that's that line that you're talking about. Yeah, but the titles are really important, and so I heard you say that in the thumbnails a lot. So are you saying that like that you should maybe create the title first and then the video after?
It depends on the kind of channel and video that you're making.
Okay.
I would say if you're doing some sort of video that, it depends on your channel. Like when I first started, I did vlogs. So my vlogs were kind of just whatever the heck I wanted, and then I would make a title based on it.
Right.
I wasn't really aware of all this marketing stuff, but if you're going to make a video and you want it to be shown up in like your fitness niche or whatever beauty niche, what kind of videos are doing really well and why. And then your title has to have those SEO words in them, like the searchable words, because again, you said it's a search engine.
Yeah.
It has to be searchable.
Right.
And the way that it's going to show up is if it's searchable, if it has those words in the title. I actually use a tool called vidIQ. And I know there's also a tool called TubeBuddy that will help you. It'll be like on the side of your screen when you're titling your video and using tags.
Okay.
But if you have your title that's searchable.
Paul's getting out his notes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Your title has to be searchable.
Us old men are trying to write this down slowly here. All right.
Searchable title. In your description box, having similar words to your title is important.
Yeah.
And then tags.
Right.
Those are important too.
What do you mean searchable title? I don't get that. I mean, something that'll grab people, or it's something that'll show up in search.
What's something in your industry that people are interested in and they would type in the search box? Like for me, for fitness, it would be how to track your macros, or full day of eating, or workout tips, or some sort of like shoulder workout, or like booty work, whatever.
Right. So whatever is in your industry. So for podcasting, it would be whatever's in your industry.
How would you know? Would you do
a search yourself?
You would do a search for what terms are coming up, and then you would create videos around those search terms.
So if you just go into YouTube and your industry is podcast, type in podcast, what titles come up?
And where do I go in and do this? In just Google? Into YouTube, I see.
So, like, if you search podcasts on YouTube, what are the top videos? What are their titles?
Yeah.
And why are they, what words are they using? And then on TubeBuddy or vidIQ, you can see what tags other people have used.
I love that. I love that tip.
Helpful.
Yeah. So I haven't heard of those two apps, so that's great.
Yeah.
And it's VID.
vidIQ or TubeBuddy. I'm pretty sure they're really similar.
Got it.
And then it'll also show you your SEO score and like, suggested tags and stuff. Yeah.
And that's really important because again, it is a search engine. So your SEO should be part of your title. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And so following that down, and then in the beginning of your video, make sure that you're, talking about the title, that you're leading into that. And so, in the beginning when, I know that your podcast does it as well, like when we're talking about ourselves and what we're going to be talking about on the podcast, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're doing it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just so people know, like, we're talking about this is why, this is how it came about.
Yes.
So people are like, okay. And then to keep people watching on YouTube is, so for YouTube, they pay you through AdSense, which means once your videos reach a certain threshold, they'll pay you based off of the amount of money that you make. I honestly don't make that much a month on YouTube.
Come on, tell the truth now. I saw you pull up in the chauffeur.
I have a Honda Civic. What do you mean? I'm just kidding.
You were driven down. You said you had a driver that brought you down here.
I had a Lyft driver because I had a flat tire. I had a flat tire. I make probably I do 2 videos a week now, and I make between $1,500 and $2,000 on YouTube, which is great. But it took me honestly, if you're gonna
is that per video
that,
or per month or for
per month?
Per month.
That's pretty cool.
I have 190,000 subscribers and I do 2 videos a week. So if you're gonna rely on that, it's not gonna be a whole lot until you get to that point. So you can't rely on it. But it pays you based off of not just your views or your subscriber count, but how long people watch your videos. So if you're doing an info video, it's really helpful to do some sort of tip, 5 tips, so they stayed watching the whole time because you have 5
Don't quit after 2 tips.
Right.
Yeah, right. So go through the whole thing.
That kind of thing. But anything that keeps people watching continuously, and if you feel like you're editing it and there's a drop-off point, it's better to have it be really quick and on point.
Concise,
versus podcast is super conversational, and people will stay on because they're just they're driving, or they just want to kind of just feel like they're in the room, and it's a different medium completely.
Right. Or maybe because people don't ever sit down and have a conversation anymore.
Right.
That's my thesis.
So they find it very interesting that
YouTube
people
is quick, so that's the whole idea.
So
of
that brings
the
the next question, because I completely agree with what you both said. That's why I created this platform originally, because I don't think people talk anymore. And this is long form storytelling, and it works because people are listening in the car or other places that they can't watch or do anything.
That's why I love podcasts.
They'll give you 30 minutes or more to tell your story, not 30 seconds.
Paul, we're gonna just ask a few more questions before we end. Okay.
Okay, I got one question I got to ask though.
Okay.
Technical again here.
Okay.
Video. How long? How much do you edit it?
How much do I edit?
Yeah, I mean, you just turn it on and shoot it, or is it more and more they're creating tons and tons of edits and making it more higher production value?
It totally depends on what you're doing. There's people that spend hours on editing, and videographers and editors, and then there's people that can just literally do a stupid sit-down video, and it doesn't matter how stupid it is if they're
Yeah.
going to watch the whole time and the quality's not the best, but like the content's really good and what you're talking
Yeah.
about is super interesting. It doesn't matter how much you edit.
And how
it.
long?
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree with that.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
How long? Because everybody's saying shorter and shorter and shorter.
Well, because watch time, they don't go by clicks anymore. So people
Yeah.
used to do like 2-minute videos that people would just click and then hop off after like a second because it's like, holy crap, clickbait.
Right.
But now it's more like, okay, clickbait, but also how can you get people to stay on? That's what YouTube wants.
Right.
That's why
Yeah.
that's why they're giving people access to YouTube space after they hit the 10,000 threshold, because they want people to get better at YouTube so they can make better content so people
Right.
are on YouTube more.
Exactly.
Right. And that's why she hasn't done it yet, because she's already past that.
she doesn't need the stinking YouTube space. Come
Right.
So when a couple of the questions that were asked through DM were like, how do we utilize our blog platform and other social media platforms in order to drive traffic?
Good question. That's a really good question. So what I would do on a blog or an Instagram is do something that's a snippet of what you would expand upon in your YouTube video, and then direct people to go watch it. So what I used to do is I
Got
do
it.
like a little clip of a workout, and then I would say like the whole workout is explained on YouTube. Here's the link, or a link in bio, or whatever.
So kind of like a call to action and like,
Mhm.
you know, to seek and discovery type of thing, right?
Yeah. Like it's there, and if you want to see it expanded upon, go to YouTube, go to the YouTube video.
Right.
But anything that can kind of like entice them to be like going to click on the video and going to watch it and would make them want to watch it, like your blog or your Instagram caption should be directed to make them do that.
Right. Okay. Now on Instagram, do you always post like a video if it's a video on YouTube, or do you sometimes do still photos?
It depends. I do think that doing a snippet of the video to
Yeah.
get people to watch the full video works a little better depending
Okay.
on what it is.
Yeah.
I won't necessarily always do that. My strategy could be better to get people to go there, you know.
Yeah.
What we prioritize, but sometimes I'll
Yeah.
do a photo with a caption that says this is what I talked about in my video. Or
Right.
sometimes I'll do like an Instagram story, which I love Instagram stories. Probably my favorite little piece of any platform. But Instagram story, a little clip of the YouTube video with the swipe up or like a link in bio type
Right.
deal.
Right.
Kind of just like a short piece of content that will
Yeah.
direct the bigger piece.
Right. And if you guys don't have the swipe up or know what she's talking about, it's you have to have over 10K followers on Instagram.
Apparently, I thought it was
Yeah.
for everybody when they like gave it to everybody, but I guess it's 10K.
no, it's not.
No.
Yeah, I know it's not, but you can still do it the old school way, link in bio. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
fine.
Like, and it's not. And I guess I shouldn't have said old school because it's not necessarily that old school.
You know, the things that we
but-
decide are old nowadays when new things come out. It's funny.
It's true. Okay, so going through these questions here, so what one strategy always works for you to boost subscriptions or video views?
That's a good question. I like to say that I like to keep my YouTube channel and my posts in integrity with who I am and like
Yeah.
what I kind of want to represent. But there is something to say for like doing something kind of clickable, you know? So,
Right.
I mean, it depends on what you're doing, but like, it's funny to even say this, but like on Instagram, I try not to do the whole like booty picture, like, you know, thing too often. It's
Did
super.
she just say booty picture?
If you were in the fitness industry, this wouldn't be that weird of a conversation. But it's just
Right.
one of those things
Right.
that people click on more.
They
you
do
know?
because it's clickable, so they know that
It
people will
is,
click
and
on
you're
it,
just
right?
like that. You know.
Clickbait. right.
Yeah, I try not to do that too much because I like to be known for what I have to say versus what I look like. But
Yeah.
every once in a while, it's not a terrible strategy to implement if it's like
Right.
something that's clickable, searchable. You know, things that you know have worked really well for you in the past, and just continuously implement those. Not necessarily like a booty picture or something, but if it's something in your industry that people do often that always gets video, like transformation pictures do well on Instagram. Like I started here,
yeah.
I ended here type deal. Kind of like things that have done well for other people in the past that you might be like, let me not do that too often, but it's not the worst idea to do them, just to kind of bring people in and entice them to come in, and then it'll allow them to be like, oh wow, you actually have a lot to say, you have really great content. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. And it goes back to really knowing your audience, right? And who and what works for your industry, you know, and capitalizing on that. Sometimes trends aren't always the best thing. Like you have to find out what trend works with your messaging as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
it has
you
to make
agree?
sense.
Yeah, it has to make sense for you. So
And you have to be clear on what you want your messaging to be.
yes, exactly. I know. I've been through the hiccups of that.
Same.
One of the last questions here. Do you use ads to promote your channel?
I've never used an ad. I've used ads for my last program that I launched a few months ago, but I've never used.
But before the 188,000, you never used an ad. So actually, and I will tell you guys, you will, how you actually grew that in the last 3 years. Like what type of, what did your content? Yeah, the boom, exactly,
We'll
the boom.
now that we're towards the end, we can go through that. So when I first started, I didn't put too much emphasis on it. I did it because I didn't know anything about YouTube. Like, I didn't know YouTubers were a thing. So I was like, this is an easier way to explain fitness stuff than doing an Instagram caption.
Right.
So I would make info videos. They did pretty well, but I didn't put too much emphasis on my YouTube channel. And then I started meeting more people in the fitness industry who were YouTubers, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. There was one person that I met who's like, kind of famous on YouTube, and he's had like viral videos on Facebook, and I met his girlfriend and we became friends, and then I met him. I was like, you have this whole life because of your YouTube. I had no idea. I was like, this is a thing people do. So I decided to put more emphasis on it. I had sponsorships and I did fitness coaching, so I had a lot of like free time, I suppose, during the day to make videos. That was the only thing I did. I was prepping for bikini competitions, super on trend at the time. People were doing them more often. So I went through a whole entire prep series. So doing a series, which is a story, you know, a series is super important. So if you have a story, if you have a process that you're going through that you're going to do start to finish, make a series, make a playlist, do something that's like a follow through story. So I did a playlist, a series for my YouTube channel, and it was called That Prep Life. And That Prep Life went from 6,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers in 4 months.
Oh my gosh.
During that time, of course, I was prepping for my show, so I was doing a fat loss phase. I was getting leaner. That's really interesting to watch. I was doing workouts. I was doing posing. I was doing like vlog stuff. I did 5 videos a week. I was traveling, doing fitness workshops all over the country. I would collaborate with different people. I got on different people's YouTube channels. So because I was so consistent, and I was getting found through collaborations so often. And I was in different areas. So I'd be in Chicago and like New England and then Florida. And I would like utilize the fact that there was different audiences in different places of the country that were kind of being able to find me because I was traveling. And collaborating with people in different areas of the country.
Using maybe the hashtags that they're using over there, right?
Yeah. Different things like that. It all kind of just combined together. But I think the biggest thing was that I was consistently creating content 5 days a week. Not saying you have to do 5 days a week, but YouTube pushes out those videos for people who are doing them really consistently. Like, they will push your videos out way more often than someone who's doing 2. So because I had that time period where I was really consistent, and then when people did come to my channel, they'd be like, oh my gosh, she's posted 6 videos this week. Like, I gotta subscribe. She's obviously doing something. I think that's what it really was.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's such a wealth of information there. Thank you so much for sharing that. We love that kind of stuff here, and that's what Skinny on Beauty is all about. Thank you so much for coming on. Make sure you check her out on amandabucci.com for all the fitness freebies. Go check out our series on YouTube, of course, and subscribe. Hit that subscriber button. Before we sign off, I do end all my shows with an inspirational quote, something that you hold dear to your heart or you've held yourself accountable to as an entrepreneur at one time or another. Did you want to share your quote with us?
I would love to. One of my favorite quotes is Marianne Williamson. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. And I love taking that with me throughout everything that I do because it's terrifying to us that we're actually going to succeed, and that's what holds us back a lot of the time, and we don't realize it because we make the excuses that we're not going to. But it's even more terrifying what will happen if we do, because when you do become successful, there's this fear of isolation and fear of becoming looked at in a different way by your peers who are on the same level as you. And for me, it's always been a fear. And as I've progressed throughout life, it's something I have to keep near and dear to my heart, because it is important for you to feel proud of what you're doing, and it is important for you to feel empowered. And that's what I like to take with me, and the people that I like to surround myself by, and the message that I like to send.
Yes, and she actually has on Bucci Radio, she has something about her tips on self-love. So go check that out, and that's definitely something that she likes to promote, and I agree with that quote. I love it too.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for coming and listening to us and being part of the Skinny on Beauty and Unite Socially community. Next podcast will be coming out pretty soon. Until next time, stay beautiful, Orange County.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
You've been listening to Skinny on Beauty, where beauty and art collide, right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OCTalkRadio.net.